Good afternoon. It's late April 2012 and my name's Mark Butler and I'm the Managing Director of the OTAN Property Fund based in Perth, Western Australia. Today I'm actually bringing you the update on OTAN and the Perth market from Mosman Park. Behind me, over my right shoulder, you can see the city, and down to my left, which you can't quite see, there's been some of the most expensive residential sales in Australia. Well, last year where there was a sale in excess of just under $60 million. To my right is Freshwater Bay and some of the best sailing in Australia. As an update, what you need to look at is with the West Australian property market, we're seeing some of the lowest vacancy rates in commercial properties, with West Perth having zero vacancy and the City of Perth having some of the lowest in history of vacancies in the commercial market. Residentially, I think it was running now at about 1.2%, and you're finding that one bedroom apartments in Subiaco are renting for $620 per week. And I have heard tales of people, and it's not tales, but I know it's fact, of people where they're having to pay $100 just to go and have a look at a property for sale. We also have, on top of that, turnover which is increasing comfortably. We're not seeing anything dramatic moves in prices, but with an increasing, Perth has, and West Australia has the highest rate of population growth of any state in Australia, and it has very strong growth. We're looking at 6%, which we're tied very strongly to China, which is based on the imports. So what you're seeing is with turnover increasing, lower vacancies, the prices should give, but then I'd say the trend is definitely not to go down, because now it's just about cheaper to be buying than renting, as we see in this particular market here now. Western Australia with a population of over 2 million people, and Perth with a population of about just under 1.8 million people, gives you a good, strong metropolitan market to work within. The turnover, as I said, being where it is, has been good, and it seems to be the trend is that it's increasing, with probably about 100 to more than 100 houses now selling per week as compared to a year ago. Then if you look at the West Australian economy, what we're seeing is about 46% of the export earnings are coming out of the Pilbara area for all of Australia. And you're seeing capital expenditure, enormous amounts of up to $180 billion Australian being spent up there. I had a meeting with a gentleman at a social event 2 weeks ago who works for Chevron, who's in control of $1 billion a month of expenditure. And I said, well, how long would that go for? And his statement was quite easy, it's going to go for more than 2 years. And he's not the only one. And West Australia's resources market is not a one-trick pony either. What you're looking at is very strong growth out of the iron ore market and the exports from there. The gas is very profitable, where you're looking at production costs of less than $10 and sale prices of $90, and they're 10-year projects. And you've got fertiliser, and then you've got all the intellectual property which runs around the world, which Perth has for mining in the Congo and Russia and Mongolia and etc. It's enormous expertise in that area, as well as the resources which come out of West Australia, which is very strong political base with the current Liberal Party and the Country Party or National Party, which is supporting them. Where do we go to from here? An update on the existing projects for OTAN. What you've got is with the Queen's Park projects, we've now got one house left to sell out of about 70, which is good. Then we've got the front area, which is the apartments and the commercial areas. Remembering this is right opposite a train station in Queen's Park, where we've seen good take up, and we've released that about a month ago. And the good news for the investors is, subject to the sales taking on and continuing on, the plan is to distribute all or part of the capital expenditure back to the investors later this year, with the final wrap up of that fund happening in early 2013. Then if you look at the Subiaco apartments, which is 88 apartments and 13 commercial areas, we've now sold over 70% of the project. The building contractors come in under budget, which is always pleasing. And our existing figures we're using, we have about $2 million with the sundries, which if we don't need to spend that will come straight back into the profit. There is a small amount of capital which I think will be taken up by the time this video is uploaded to our website. And so we'll also be looking at some other projects in that commercial, in the apartments in that area as well, coming up in the near future. The The South Beach 2 projects, what we're working with is the bankers with to tie in the settlements, so we can do turnkey settlements for those, and that should be finalised in the next short term, and then we'll be notifying all the investors of how that's progressing. Our Karratha project, which we settle on next week, which is a 330 lot subdivision, we've already achieved pre-sales of a third of the project, which is 100 lots, to Rio Tinto for about $80 million for house and land packages, which shows the strength of that market up there. And then also there'll be some infill projects within that project which we'll be taking to our investors and also to the external investors in the next 2 to 5 months. And if you're registered as an investor on the OTAN website, you'll be informed of that. Those who invest existing will have the first right, and then after that, then those on the OTAN website as interested parties will be informed after that. Coming forward, we've got another apartment project which is looking highly likely, and we're just trying to finalise that in the inner Perth area. And then we've also got a land subdivision which is looking confident that I think that will now take place, subject to some negotiations. And then we've also got some infill projects both around the Perth area and also in the Pilbara area. With seeing the population growth, the lack of vacancy, the comfortable level of turnover of properties, and the available within West Australia as an opportunity fund to buy good projects and de-risk them, we're looking forward to a very good 2 years in front of us, and I hope you enjoy it. And always feel free to give me a call or contact me. My email address is mark.butler@otan.com.au. Have a good day from Mosman Park.